poker face, poker face. She says you have whatever we like. Something, 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 something. A week is something, something, something to the something. What's up, y'all? It's Tuesday night, and I ain't got nothing else to do. So I figure I'll hang out with y'all tonight. You know what I mean? My young boy's over there playing Madden, so he's running around like a crazy person. You're gonna hear that twice real quick. Um, yeah, man, we chilling here. It's a Tuesday evening, and shit's kind of crazy. I my store opened back up. I'm very excited about that. So shout out to Amalgam, my whole Amalgam squad. We are up and running once again. We are open tomorrow. Customers are welcome to come in the store. Make sure you got your mask on. And yeah, man, we chilling. I'm excited to be back and excited to have folks come back and join us. We are we getting it in, man. We had a great day on Saturday. Lots and lots of folks came out for the Juneteenth celebration, and if you did make it out, thank you for coming. If you didn't make it out, I don't know what to tell you. Hey, Noli, what's up? How you is? Um, yeah, man. So we chilling. You know what I mean? It's an interesting week here in the city of Philadelphia. I am like most of my Philly brethren, kind of going through it right now, and it's part of the topic of discussion. And it won't be the whole thing because nobody wants to hear me, complaining about my Sixers losing. Um, it was a tough loss for us, though. It was heartbreaking, and I'm not gonna lie, I won't say I cried because I didn't cry, but I was upset. Um, and oh wait, we gotta bring the mic up. Y'all can't hear me none. Bringing up the microphone. Is that better? Yeah. I hope that's better. Cool. Um, yeah. So the thing that popped into my head about this whole Sixers thing. I don't know how many sports fans are here with me. There's not a lot. You know what I mean? Most of my hey, thank you. Most of my people that are a lot of my music heads aren't really sports cats, and a lot of my I won't say that about a lot of my sports heads. Most of my sports heads are hip hop dudes as well. So, um, but yeah, a lot of my people in this music biz and a lot of the fans stuff. Not really sports cats like me. I was explaining that to the band the other day. And so it got wild around these parts. Um, in Philly the other day. What's up, John? How you doing, man? It got wild in Philly when the Sixers lost and Ben Simmons didn't do anything. He fell apart in the last four games. In the fourth quarter, he just did nothing, and it kind of sucked. And Cats are like, get rid of him, blah blah blah, get rid of him, whatever. And I'm not on that train yet. I still have faith in the man. I've seen him play and seen him really get it in. And for whatever reason, shit was in his head this year. It really was. And I'm not willing to walk away from a person who was obviously dealing with some stuff and is affecting their job performance, right? But the thing that's popped into my head from there that's really made it a thing is that hold on a second. What is that? Split the people to the max from high school on up. Only watch college ball. Yeah. Yo, speaking of college ball, they made a step. The Supreme Court said voted 9-0, as a matter of fact, that the NCAA is the shiestiest organization in the world. Like, you shiesty when a part of the American government is like, yo, y'all mad shiesty, bro. But no, yeah. So it looks like they've taken a step at least to these cats being able to get paid. So that's a good thing. Um, yeah, yeah. Goddess Gang. Shout out to the Goddess MC. Saw Rock. What up? Um, where was I? Oh yeah. Ben Simmons. So, obviously there's something going on in that dude's head. Um, and we as a collective city, my brethren, people that I love, really fucking killed this guy. And quite honestly, your man did nothing. He did nothing the last four quarters. Uh, the the last fourth quarter of the last four games, he did nothing. You know what I mean? And it's the kind of thing where you're like, dog, you're getting paid a whole lot of money. If you're not gonna do it, like, what the fuck? But I am a forgiving God. No, let me stop. It's the same thing that I saw Carson go through last year. Like, he was so deep in his head trying to make everything work that it didn't work, right? Um, and so, he fell apart, and everybody was like, get rid of him, and he got traded, and he's in Indy now, and I hope he does really well. And part of why I was rooting for those guys is because they're both good dudes, man. They're both really good dudes. Carson Wentz is just a good guy. You know what I mean? Ben Simmons is a good dude. And, I don't know either of them in the locker room to say either way. You know what I'm saying? There's all this stuff coming out now that, they were bad in the locker room. I don't know that, so I can't make that assumption. All I know is their public personas. They seem like good dudes, and I'm all right. I'm okay with giving them another chance. And so I'm going to rep for Carson in Indy. If Ben stays, he'll still get my respect. I'll still rep for him. If he gets traded, you know what I mean, I'll rep for him wherever he goes, unless he goes to the Celtics, because fuck the Celtics. But I will say, whoa, left hip replacement. Sleeve surgery was 30 pounds. Working on hip. Left hip replacement. I don't know what to tell you on that. Sleeve surgery, 30 pounds. Okay, yeah, I know what that means. I don't know what to tell you, Mel. I'll do a little research for you because that's what I do. I'm actually working on trying to figure out what's wrong with my sciatic nerve. That's how old I am. I'm dealing with sciatica. What the fuck? When did I get that old? Fucking sciatica. Anyway, so the thing that I was Bobby, what's good, man? Thank you very much, dude. Thank you very much. The thing that's been messing with my head all day, right, is how us dudes, man, we just fucking snap on each other with, particularly in sports kind of shit. Like, you don't know these guys. You know nothing about these dudes. And for you to have the idea that, fuck this guy, he's a pussy, whatever, like, you have no idea what's going on in this dude's head. No clue. But he didn't win your team's game. Like, what the fuck? All right. There's some shit going on with him, obviously. If you look at the level of ability that he has, and then, what's going on in his head that kept him from really accessing all that ability, obviously there's something wrong. And so I personally hope that he's able to get off the schneid and get himself together. But sciatica on steroids, that's gross. Oh my God, I am very sorry about that, because my shit's bothering the shit out of me. It's hard for me to sit here on this chair right now. But no, the reason why that's in my head, and the thing that's been kind of running through my brain, is like the way dudes deal with each other, right? And deal with sort of reality in general. Now, I'm not going to go the whole toxic masculinity route, because I'm not sure how I feel about that term yet. Um, I still feel like there's something to that term that doesn't agree with me, right? Um, obviously there's dickhead stuff that guys do. That's one thing, but yeah, John. Yeah, that's right, John. We're not old. I'm sorry. We're vintage. I'm going with vintage. Is the term I'm using? Vintage or classic, whichever. Neither of us is old yet. All right, I fucks with you on that. But yeah, I have an issue with that term, and so I'm trying to come up with a new one, something that works better to describe the dickhead stuff that guys do. To each other and to the world in general, right? Um, but the idea of toxic masculinity for me is becoming a thing where it's used to describe that anything that a guy does that somebody doesn't like is just toxic masculinity, right? And it's a dangerous term, man. It's a very dangerous term. Collector's items, that's a good one, John. I like that one too. So I'm having a hard time fucking with that one. So I need to come up with another one. I need another phrase, another term, another idea to discuss these ideas, right? Because if there is toxic masculinity, right, then there would have to be toxic femininity, correct? I it would or is it like racism where there is a similar thing in the ideas and the behaviors, but you can't call it the same thing because the power dynamic is different. And if there is, I want to know what that thing is because it doesn't get discussed. Um, and I'm perfectly willing to discuss. Um, well, see, all right. So racism is different, and I've had this discussion with people before, and the term you have to have a specific term for racism because of the power dynamic that is involved with it, right? So bigotry, discrimination, and prejudice are all the same thing, regardless of where they're coming from. But there has to be a thing that describes those things that are also have a power dynamic entailed with them, right? So yeah, I can be the most bigoted, discriminatory, yay! I can be the most bigoted, discriminatory, prejudiced black person in the world, right? I cannot be racist in America because I don't have the power to be. I don't have the power involved in the idea of racism, right? As a black man in America, I don't have that power to be racist, and they're very specifically different things, right? And so, yes, you can be a fucking the biggest bitch in the world and hate men and all this other stuff, but is it possible for that to be sexism without the power dynamic involved in sexism, right? This is the stuff that keeps me up at night. I was studied to be a sociologist when I went to Penn State, and I wait a minute, hold on, y'all. There's a sciatica. There's a sciatica thing on here that I'm about to read. So y'all gonna have to give me a second. This is a sciatica stretch. Stretch that sciatica leg and use yoga positions. Yeah. All right. Cool. Use one. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Boom. See, I be learning stuff. Thank you, Wendy. No. So where was I? Oh yeah, racism, sexism, all the isms, right? So imagine if you would, and there's all kinds of stuff kind of person who is prejudiced against or antagonize people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial group, not as one is. A person who is prejudiced against or antagonized toward people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial, not always one that is more. True. Yeah, very true. Very true. Right? Yeah, like I said, anybody can be those things. Anybody can be those things. No question. No question. Anybody can be those things. But if you're speaking sociologically, right, you have to speak sociologically on this to really understand the impact of it throughout the society. And so when you have to be able to define a concept of all of those things with the addition of having the power in that specific society, right? And so it's easiest to say, yeah, I'm speaking. I am speaking. Oh, someone else is hosting our stream too. Hello, XFTFR84's friends. Nice to see y'all. I am speaking systemic, right? But even when you're talking systemic, it is systemic are the things in place, right? And it doesn't mean that everyone is going to. It doesn't mean that everyone in that system as an individual is an individual racist, right? What it means is these systems were designed in a way to make sure that some people had this and had access to this and some people didn't, right? And in America, when you're talking about that, specifically, it was designed so that white people would have access to things that other races were not. You're right. A person is not the system, even though the system is made up of people. You're very much right about that, and that's why I'm willing to say I will always go to bat against the idea that all cops are bastards. The person is not the system, even though the system is made up of people, right? Yeah. Anyway, so I bring all of this up, right, in the idea of Ben Simmons, where you have to sort of make you have to have the discussion in any of this stuff about individuals, right? You have to make the decision about this discussion about individuals and systems at the same time, right? So, if you're a dude and you live your life and being dude and doing dude things and whatever, and you're gonna, most of the time that you're out and about, you're just gonna be doing your thing and not worried about your safety, right? Whereas every woman I've ever known is like, sort of wherever she's at, keeps her head on a swivel, particularly if she's by herself, particularly if it's a new place, You're right. Power is not absolute and varies in situations and geographies. You're very right about that. that much is very true. You're very 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 correct about that. The only thing that makes it any different is imagine yourself in imagine how you would feel if you were all right. Case in point, whenever I'm down south, one of the things I'm doing is I'm always looking for Confederate flags, always, because I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know where I should be or shouldn't be, um, and it where it's safe for me to be all the time because not everywhere is safe for me to be. You know what I'm saying? Um, but it's the kind of thing where not everybody has to do that, right? I don't, I'm 6'4", 240. 99% of the time, I'm not worried about my surroundings because if somebody's coming after me, they're coming after me to kill me, right? You know what I mean? Like, regardless of where I am or like who they are. If they're coming after me, they're coming after me to take what's mine or whatever, right? But that's very very rare. So it's something I don't have to worry about as a dude. Um, and so when we as dudes just kind of go about our business and do our things, we do some real asshole stuff and we behave like real assholes sometimes. And the way we treat each other, the way we talk to each other, the way we describe each other, if we disagree with how somebody's behaving, um, or how somebody's performing. And again, in the case of Ben Simmons, like, yo, you don't know what's going on in that dude's head. Motherfuckers was like, you have no idea what's going on in his head. Same thing happened with Paul George last year in the bubble when the NBA was in the bubble. Like, and he came out after and was like, yo, this whole thing was messing with my head. I couldn't really perform like that. It just didn't work. And they was killing him. They killed Paul. And, when he finally came out and said something, the cast let up a little bit, but in general, the idea was that he was soft and he couldn't handle and this, that, and the third, whatever. And I'm forced to wonder if we, as dudes, right, are we ever going to sort of get over ourselves in a lot of our asshole mentality and allow other dudes to be like, yo, this is what's going on in my head and I'm not really feeling right now. And I don't know how to, to get by any of this, that, and the third, and really have that discussion. Because from what I've seen in a lot of systems, a lot of the ways we behave, Vapor Missile, thank you very much. We make your heart sing. I appreciate that. Over on YouTube. It feels like that's another part. And shout out to Shell. She said harsh criticism from guys who can never make it in the pros in the first place. Yeah, that's another thing. We talk a lot of shit about dudes that are like, yo, dog, you could never do anything a lot of these cats do, right? Like none of that stuff. And that's a thing. And a lot of cats won't even have that discussion. Well, I'm not getting paid to do it. Well, you couldn't. You know what I'm saying? And if you were, would you who knows if you would have the same problems, right? You have no idea. And so when I look at this whole situation, it makes me sort of look at the rest of how we're doing as a human society, right? Because I talk a lot of shit. I talk shit about the Celtics and the Cowboys and the Braves and fuck those guys, whatever. But at the end of the day, Jerry Seinfeld made the best set of jokes about that. Essentially, you're just rooting for their shirts. You know what I mean? Essentially, you're rooting for the clothes that a dude's got on. Like, all right, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. Um, and okay, and I'm perfectly willing to accept that. I am perfectly willing to accept how um how some cats behave after they come to Philly once they're a Philly player, and before I may have hated them, but now they're here. I'm like, all right, I'll fucks with you now. I've done that. I've definitely done that. And then they left here, and I'm like, all right, fuck that guy. You know what I mean? I've definitely done that. Because at the end of the day, we are just rooting for their laundry. But it gets it gets a lot more difficult when you're talking about an individual, not just about their performance on the court. Um, should wear boobs. Is a person strapped with maybe beyond double? You should do a week with it. I mean, no, I don't know. Big ups to everybody that wears boobs. I'm proud of you. Handle your biz. I don't. Listen. I'm chubby enough. I got a nice little set of man boobs here. I can't fuck with anybody like that. Jealous of people who get so much enjoyment out of sports. Don't be, because it fucks with you. It fucked with you. As a Philly sports guy, it has fucked with me most of my life. I've been to two parades in the last 12, 13 years. The Phillies parade and the Eagles parade, I went. But in a lot of that time in between, it fucked with me. And like I said, this Sixers thing is still fucking with me, because it was the kind of thing where we had opportunities to win and we didn't, right? But when I found myself feeling bad for me, I was like, wait a minute, I didn't lose. These guys were out here, they lost, and this guy Ben Simmons really lost, and it's fucking with him way more than it's fucking with you. And obviously, whatever else is going on in his head that led to that is fucking with him way more than it's fucking with you. And I think we, as a sports society, and I'm just talking to my sports cats right now. And I was considering saying my sports guys, but the one of the biggest sports fans that I know, that I'm responsible for this, by the way, is my ex-wife. She went to Penn State and didn't know anything about football, which I don't know how the fuck that happened. But I taught her football, and she became a rabid Penn State and 49ers and Eagles fan like me, and and she gets that way too, and but it's one of those things where is that a toxic masculinity thing, or is it just the fact that people are assholes? And I think it's probably a little bit more of that than anything else. But these cats are out here. Yeah, they're making a lot of money, and to entertain us and play these games and whatever. But one of the things that is forgotten by a lot of us is that these are human fucking beings, and every now and again, these cats have to be like, look, it's just not working for me. Shout out to Naomi Osaka. Like, she was saying a couple weeks ago before the French Open, I think it was, she was like, I can't do this fucking press. Like, this press fucks with me. I don't like doing it. And they were like, well, you have to do it or you're going to get fined. She was like, here, take the money. They're like, no, you have to do it or you can't play. She was like, all right, fuck it, I won't play. Like, it's cool. And we so easily just sort of dismiss these people as, just these robots whose job it is to entertain us with their amazing skill, right? These are not robots. These are human fucking beings, man. Like, these are people that can do things that most of us can't fucking do. Like, just cannot fucking do. being mad or something because everything I enjoyed at one time. Or do fucked up wrestling, boxing, MMA, football, soccer, rodeo, golf. Exploitation of people who just want to climb the ladder of what they are best at. Wrestling? I mean, boxing? Motherfucker. Listen, if you box, you was like, well, I'm trying to get this money and I like punching people in the head, so fuck it. I'm going to go punch people in the head for money and get punched in the head for money. It's one of those things where you have an ability that I don't. And yes, I will enjoy watching you do it if it's something that I enjoy. But I'm doing my best to not talk shit about you as a person. I'll talk shit about you on the field. Like, fuck that guy. Like, for example, fuck Trae Young. Fuck Trae Young. Trae Young is everything that's wrong with the sport of basketball. Fuck that guy. And I'm really hoping that the Bucks bring somebody in like off the deep end of the bench, like the Sixers should have, and just punch him in the fucking mouth. That's all I need. Fuck that guy. He's an amazing basketball player. His shot is outstanding. He's got a crazy handle. Like, he can do things on the court really well, but he plays ball like a fucking punk. And a lot of that is just the nature of the game right now, that whole drawing fouls by flopping into you, bumping into the defender, and then shooting and drawing. Fuck that. That's corny. Whatever. That's not here or there. As a basketball player, fuck that guy. I don't know what kind of person he is off the court. He's probably a pretty cool dude. Fuck that guy on the court. Yeah, man. Like, I'm for real. I've always said fuck the Cowboys in general. I think me and Dak Prescott could hang out. I think I could hang out with him, but on the field, fuck that guy. Fuck Zeke Elliott. Fuck all those guys. Fuck them. Fuck the Celtics. Fuck Ohio State. Fuck them. But, like I said, these guys are probably all really good dudes. Again, I'm just rooting for the laundry, man. I'm rooting for the jerseys and shit. But, getting back to the idea of toxic masculinity, like, is it just a thing that guys do to talk shit about people? Is it just that we're jealous that we can't do these fucking amazing things that these cats do? I've never heard a single human being say a bad thing about, for example, Simone Biles. Simone Biles is, without question, you cannot deny, the greatest gymnast that Earth has ever seen. Like, it's not even fair. Like, Nightwing came out of comic books, was like, damn, that motherfucker can flip. Like, that's how good she is. And I think because we're not rooting against anything that she's doing, like, I don't know, because even the rest of the world, I can't imagine that you're a gymnast in the Ukraine, or like gymnastics fans in the Ukraine that are like, fuck Simone Biles, she ain't shit. You can't say that. She's fucking amazing. I don't know that there were Brazilian swimmers that are like, fuck Michael Phelps, that dude's a dick. Or like Brazilian swimming fans that are like, that dude sucks, fuck that guy. You can't say that. He's fucking amazing, right? And so, but, you did have people that shit talked Serena Williams for years for just being better at the thing than anyone you've ever encountered in your life. And anyone you ever will, unless you meet Serena Williams. That's it. Some motherfuckers are just better at shit than you or anyone you have ever known will ever be. And that's just fucking deal with that, right? So, all right, and Curious Bird, you're right. What about guys treating women as just sex objects? That's a thing. That's where I'm okay with the concept of, like, toxic masculinity, right? And it's a different thing. It's a different sort of thing because a lot of us, are sort of stuck in this realm where if you are not somebody that I'm fucking or would like to be fucking, you're not that important. A lot of dudes are on that bullshit. You're right. You're right. Women do that shit too. I've been objectified. No. But it's more dangerous, right? You're more, yeah, Shell, you're right. Yeah, LeBron is definitely that dude that when he's on your squad, you love him to death. As soon as he goes somewhere else, you're like, fuck that guy. All right, well, that I don't know it. And guess what? LeBron James is a better basketball player than any human being you've ever met, unless you met Mike or Kobe. Other than that, he's better than them. Deal with that shit. I don't care what that's the fucking truth, right? So, but again, it that feels like the sort of thing that's toxic masculinity because it's a thing that, for the most part, guys do, right? So, help me out here on this. Is there a thing that? What's what would be the comparable thing where women hate on amazing women because they do this thing better than anybody else in the world, right? What could it be? Help me out. I'm not sure. But yeah, getting back to what Curious Bird said, yeah. You have a lot of dudes that exist in that sort of realm. It's like, well, if I'm not having sex with you or trying to have sex with you, or if I have no desire to try, then you don't mean anything to me. Like, yeah, you're right about the power differential, because most, and let me not say that. I don't know who wants to have sex with who. So I can't, but I do know that for the most part, dudes are walking around like, yeah, I'd fuck her. Yeah, I'd fuck her. Nah, I wouldn't fuck her. Yeah, I'd fuck her. 1,000 times a day, right? 1,000 times a day. But I've always wondered, like, how many times a day do women do that? How many times a day do you just see, and not just like, somebody refusing to recognize really experiences matter when always trying to get something from someone with the expectation that they deserve it for being male. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no doubt. That's a good one. No doubt. You're the bad, you're pitted against each other and taught that there's glass ceiling, the only so many women are allowed near the ceiling or to break the mofo. Okay, good point. You're right. You are definitely right. Yeah, okay. All right, Noli. That goes to everyone, that some say it, some don't. How many times a day, though? This has been my question for a while, Curious Bird. Can there be toxic femininity? I would imagine there has to be, right? Every time. I like the way you think. I like your answer on that. Is there a thing as toxic femininity? And if there is, what is it? Right? Because, toxic masculinity gets pointed out every 3 or 4 minutes on the internet, and, there's, mansplaining and all this other stuff. But I want to know, like, what is it? Because I've had plenty of stuff explained to me by women. I was like, oh, cool. Ooh, Sleeve said, if there is toxic masculinity, there is toxic femininity. Okay. All right, so what are the traits? Yeah, I want an example of behavior, because every day you get an example of a thing being named as toxic masculinity, right? And again, the thing that brought this up in my head was the way that a lot of these Philly sports cats, friends of mine, were treating Ben Simmons after the loss, and calling him a pussy and he's soft and he can't. Well, I I don't know what's going on in his head. Yes, he underperformed greatly. Sure. What is that? But what does that say about him as as a human being? I don't know. I have no idea. It says that in this instance he underperformed, making a statement like all men. So that's an example of toxic femininity. Okay, all right, okay, because that would say that, and help me out here. I want to make sure I'm saying this right. That would say that there is no, that every dude does all the same things all the time and that sort of thing. And um, yeah, okay. Now, when I hear those statements, um, when I hear the statements about all men, blah blah blah, I myself am able to ignore that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what I do and what I don't do. Um, mm, 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 mm. Oh wow. Yeah. I know what I do and don't do. You know what I'm saying? I know who I am and who I'm not. So when you want to say, when it's said all men, blah blah blah. All right, cool. Go ahead. I know who I am and who I'm not, and I allow myself to exist in my individual space, and I don't have the word police on there. Crazy. I don't have it's not in me to do those sort of things. But I will allow for that discussion because, and not allow for, like, you can say that in front of me. I'm giving you the permission, not like that. But it doesn't upset me because there is the idea that any man can be a danger, right? The fallacy of overgeneralization. Yeah, definitely. Um, an overgeneralization is a dangerous thing. Not all men cheat, not all women are trifling. You're right. I will say, and I've said this before, I will stand by this. All dudes are a little bit dumb, and all women are a little bit crazy. I will stand by that statement. Now, there's crazy dudes out there, and there's dumb women out there. But in general, I, our son, the voice of reason, and making that statement, I will stand by it. Battle me on it. Battle me. Is that why? Maybe that's why we're so dumb. Maybe it's flipped. I don't know. But I'm okay with it. You know what I'm saying? And I have two wonderful boys. They're beautiful creatures. They're going to grow up to be dumb. No, I'm not. See, you hear my son over there saying he's not? I have a beautiful daughter. She's one of the most wonderful human beings I've ever encountered in my life. You know what? She's a little bit crazy. Okay. Fuck it. Keep it moving. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Those are the two generalizations I'm okay with. Completely okay with. Totally okay with that idea. But all of this, like I said, this all came out of this whole sports thing. This whole idea that I was having about my Sixers. Because this means a lot more to me than a lot of people realize, and in my city right now. Like I usually listen to sports radio all day, right? If I'm at the crib, whatever. I haven't listened to it since the game ended. I can't because I can't. I don't want to be reminded of the loss, but more importantly, I can't stand the idea of listening to people talk about an individual as though the thing that he did was done to you and you're upset. You're more upset about it than he is. 2 years ago when we lost in the second round to Toronto, who went on to win the championship, on the luckiest shot I've ever seen in the sport of basketball, right? Joel Embiid, he walked off the court crying, man. He was distraught. And it became everybody's joke and everybody's meme and whatever. Like, yo, this man is hurting. This shit is killing him right now. Because he was, you know what I mean? He admitted, I didn't play great. We had opportunities to win that game and we didn't do it and we got beat. And that upset him. If you saw him, last year he was playing better, and then COVID happened, and this year he played like a fucking monster. Joel Embiid was MVP of the league. I don't give a fuck what you say about Jokic. Joel Embiid played like a fucking monster, and he deserved it. Right, he deserved the MVP. He should have got that shit. But motherfuckers is out here making jokes about this guy. Like, yo, these dudes are putting they fucking this is their life. They're putting their heart and soul into this every day for a good portion of their lives to be recognized as champions. It matters to them way more than it matters to you, right? Way more. Like, we're all past, the fact that Charles Barkley never won a championship here in Philadelphia. I guarantee you, Charles Barkley still to this day is like, fuck. For the Hall of Fame career and everything that he's ever, accomplished and all that kind of stuff, he didn't win a chip. You know what I mean? And there's a whole generation of those guys that Jordan kept from getting chips. You know what I mean? A whole generation of Knicks and Pacers and Cavs and Suns and Jazz and all kinds of motherfuckers that don't have chips because of one fucking guy, essentially. Well, not what. Jordan, for the most part, Pippen, the whole rest of the squad, Phil Jackson, that whole thing. But for the most part, fucking Jordan. Right? But you can't take that from them, that, you can't take their greatness from them, right? I believe all the people that have helped them and caused it to push forward. I was saying the victims would have fought the fight alone. Their whole life to get the opportunity to put their Jeffrey Mayer. Who the fuck is Jeffrey Mayer? Wait, I'm lost. I'm confused. Y'all got me confused. Yeah, you know what, Shell? You're right. The fucking refs. We're not even going to talk about the refs. We're not going to talk about the NBA. Me and the NBA got beef, and if I ever meet Adam Silver, we're going to have words. Fuck that guy. We are going to have words, Mr. Silver. I don't know why you got hate on my Sixers. And watch the teams do that shit for decades. As soon as the Sixers do it, oh, it's terrible. You can't do that, man. Fuck that guy. I kid. But no. Again, all of this just kind of comes back to this whole idea that where we as individuals have to be better at how we choose to deal with each other on a lot of levels. And It's one terrible call to rob the Orioles of a championship. I know what you're talking about too. I know exactly what you're talking about. Listen. I told you, my beef with Adam Silver is my beef with fucking Brady and Belichick will go on forever, forever. Like we can get world famous and do a show, and Tom Brady can introduce us. And I'd be like, "Yo, fuck this guy, fuck you, Tom Brady, fuck you, Tom Brady, and fuck you, Bill Belichick." Yeah, there'll be a lot of shit talking. I'll probably get my ass kicked, but whatever. But no, I have no idea how we're going to figure this shit out. Any of the various problems that we all talk about and shit. But I do know that if we don't start looking at individuals as individuals, particularly if we don't know them, right? If the idea is like, well, they make basketball player money, so they're rich and happy and they have nothing to complain about. You have no fucking idea, right? This guy makes, whatever. This person does this and that, and so their life is perfect, and whatever. Until we start doing that, we're not gonna get anything. We're not gonna get anything done, right? Like I and I'm trying to put this idea on everybody, right? I'm trying to remove the concept of hating individuals for any reason on everybody. So there's a few people it's not gonna work on. Fuck Adam Silver. Fuck Bill Belichick. Fuck Mitch McConnell. Like, those three guys, fuck them. There's more, but I can't think of anybody else right now. What? Hold on a second. The NSWF, John held out communists? Yeah, talk shit on the field. Talk shit. Talk all the shit you want on the field. Off the field to the individual. Except, you know who else goes in that fuck you? And I love this guy as a player, Kevin Garnett. From what I hear, Kevin Garnett was the worst dude on the court ever. From what I hear, he was just the worst dude and said the worst shit to people. He wished Tim Duncan was at the free throw line, and he was like, he wished him Happy Mother's Day. It was a game they were playing on Mother's Day, and Tim Duncan's mother died when he was like 14. This is what I'm hearing. So fuck Kevin Garnett. Like, I think that might be a thing. If that's true, fuck that guy. He could ball his ass off, but that's a dick move. And all right, Wendy, thank you for that one. Fuck Candace Owens. Yeah, thank you, Wendy. Yeah, Candace Owens. See, I want to sit down and chat with Candace Owens. Candace Owens is one of those people that I want to be like, so what's going on? What's going on in your brain? Because I need to know, like, oh, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. I could probably have a pretty good conversation with Kevin Garnett. Probably with Adam Silver once I got to the root of why he hates the Sixers so much. After that, we could probably have a conversation. Belichick, no. Belichick has the personality of a fucking light bulb. Fuck that guy. And if I find out this stuff about Kevin Garnett is true, fuck him, because that's just terrible. And Mitch McConnell's the devil, so fuck him. Yeah. There's no getting over that guy. He's the fucking devil. Fuck him. But Candace Owens, I would like to have a conversation with. I would like to sit down with Candace Owens and be like, so, black people, what do you think? Because it feels to me like she's like, whatever. And that's how it feels to me. Maybe I'm wrong. I would have that conversation with Candace Owens. I would sit and chat with Candace Owens and be like, "So, what are we doing? Are we just not fucking with black people? Is she just like what?" I would definitely like to have that conversation. If somebody could set that up, somebody get me Candace Owens on the line. I would definitely sit down and chat with her because I would love to know cross your leg and habitual placement. Yoga positions, huh? Yoga positions. I could do that, but then I would hurt myself. Um, yeah. So here's what I'm saying. As an individual, as a guy, as a straight guy in America, it is it's fairly easy for me to live my life. Um, as a straight guy in America, the only thing I've really got against me is that in the sort of American paradigm, I'm the threat, right? You know, the big black guy, I'm the threat. Okay, fine. But the things that I don't have to worry about are my safety based on my sex, my safety based on my sexuality, that kind of shit. I don't have to worry about that. So it's like, all right, cool. I can do as I please and keep it moving. Um, and so when having that, I have to sort of look at the idea of what am I doing to make sure other people don't have to worry about that? What am I doing to make sure other people don't have that stress in their life? Wow, Ben Shapiro bought her. That's funny as shit. Um, right? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help with that. I'm trying to make sure that other people don't have to have that as well. And that's been my thing for a while. I want people to be able to have that. Like I don't have to worry about, you know, who I love or whatever because it doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect your life, right? It doesn't affect your life at all. Um, oh, yo, I've been checking my homies for a long time. And fortunately enough, as I've gotten older, I don't roll with a lot of cats that are real extra like that. I spent 4 years working at a bar checking dudes for that shit. Like, bro, stop. You wilding right now. You gotta go. Um, and I'm not, you know what I mean? I pushed up on a few shorties in my day, you know what I mean? I had a little game back in the day. What's up, girl? What your name is? Kind of shit. But, eventually you got to keep that shit. You got to keep that shit moving. My man Rand, shout out to Randall Wyatt, has got a great joint um, with Gifted Gab from Black Alicious. And it's about that in general. And the hook is like, this is, I want you, I want you, I want you. But if you don't want me, that's okay. And, just keep it moving. Like, hey, girl, what's up? No? All right, peace. You know what I mean? Like, that right there is that's how you start, fellas. That's how you start right there. Work on your game to the point where, say you get brave enough to approach somebody in a situation in a situation that doesn't make it feel like dangerous. Like you don't just walk up to somebody behind them on the street at night like, oh, excuse me. Like, no. You're in a situation, be like, hey, excuse me, I find you fascinating, blah blah blah. Can I, buy you some avocado toast and a smoothie, and we could chat about the weather or whatever? If she's like, nah, that's cool. Keep it the fuck moving. If you start there, right, then you can be like, all right, well, fuck it. You know what I mean? Then the rest of that shit goes away. And you're going to have to at some point just not be the story of your life is just gonna have to not be that guy. Don't be that guy. And if you're not that guy, then it'll be easier for you Um, if you're not that guy in that situation, it'll be easier for you to be not that guy at all, right? So then, yeah, and don't let your homies be that guy. You know, I'm just saying in general, like, don't be that guy. Don't let your friends be that guy. And eventually, nobody will be that guy. And once you're doing that, right, then it's easier for you. Because that's the hardest part, right? Because of how fucking stupid we are. If you're able to do that, then you're able to have conversations with other dudes about what's going on in their heads, right? And if you're able to have conversations with other dudes about what's going on in their heads, then you're able to see that cats you don't know may have something going on in their heads, right? And then you're able to see that everybody might have something going on in their head that affects their life. And, you know, maybe their job is playing hockey and they just couldn't play that day. And they gave up 5 goals or whatever. That doesn't make them soft or a pussy or a bitch or any of that other stuff you motherfuckers want to call people. That just means that shit happened. You don't know what the fuck they did. Just fucking let that shit go, man, because it's affecting them way more than it's affecting you, right? And if you're not doing it, right, then check your man that's doing it. And if, then that guy's checking that guy, then that guy's checking the next guy and checking the next guy. Next thing you know, motherfuckers don't need to get checked, and we all right. Ladies, do the same shit. Do the same shit. Guys are dumb. Women are crazy. But we've all got the potential to be fucking assholes. That's the universal truth. Every human being on this planet has the potential to be a fucking asshole. Don't be an asshole. I'm done. It's your man, our son, the voice of reason. Thank y'all for hanging out with me tonight. I will be at work tomorrow. Amalgam Comics and Coffee House, 2578 Frankfurt Ave is open for business. We're not serving coffee, but we are slanging books, man. I got comic books for days, bitches. For days. Come get some comic books. Yeah. Yeah, man. So definitely come through, check us out. 10 to 6. We're gonna be doing our thing, slanging books, and it's gonna be a good time. I will see anybody in the Philly area. Yeah, you can go to amalgamphilly.com. You can order all the stuff that's in the store on the website. And here, I'll even put it in the chat. Ready? Boop, 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 boop. amalgamphilly.com. Boop. There you go. Yeah, I will see y'all back here Friday night. The whole gang will be here for the team stream, and until then, we're gonna be chilling, doing our thing. Y'all be cool. It's your man, our son, the voice of reason. My favorite comic book artist and who the parallel rapper would be. Ooh, that's sexy. I like that. Yeah. Ooh. Curious Bird. Get back to me on that one in 2 weeks. I say 2 weeks because 2 weeks. Get back to me on that one. Yeah. Favorite comic book artist and their parallel rapper would be based on. Oh shit. That's fucking saucy. Yeah. All right. Yeah. 2 weeks. I'll see you here in 2 weeks about that one there, Birdie. Yes, it's your man, our son, the voice of reason, a.k.a. the Super Triple Nation, wherever I'm at, you're at, love y'all to death, or writers, even better. Safe topic? Not really, because a couple of my favorite writers right now are real dicks, but I still fucking love their work. Triple Nation, wherever I'm at, you're at, love y'all to death. The Rand of Steel, the Comic Book Jedi, again in the Malcolm Comics and Coffee House, 2578 Frankfurt Ave in the Philadelphia. We will be open tomorrow. Thank you, everybody that came out on Saturday and rocked out with us. We had such a good time. And I hope to see everybody that's any of my comic book people tomorrow. I'll see y'all there. Y'all be cool. Be safe. Wash your hands. Wash your face. Be good to each other. Don't be that guy. And if you haven't gotten your shots yet, you should probably go ahead and get them. There's no fucking chips in them or nothing like that. So, y'all be cool.